Welcome to Conversation with Haych. I'm with an amazing, not just a presenter, not just a content creator, not just a comedian, but she's been on rawsounds.tv, she's been on Made in Birmingham, she's been on Articulate, and now she's a radio presenter on Premier Gospel, Drive Time.
No.
Not Drive Time?
It used to be Drive Time.
Was it not?
It's one after Drive Time.
What's that
So
one?
like slow drive home time.
She's on the Slow Drive Home Time radio show.
That's a word to it, God.
It's got, you know, a lot of words, but we know what we're talking about. The amazing Cassandra Maria.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
So, for those who don't know who you are, because you're smiling and you just, there's a lot of teeth going on there. Like, just bring the teeth. Yeah, let.
It actually hurts your face. You know, I feel like Barbie.
What?
Stop all that. Too much smiling.
I forgot to say she's from Bromtown.
Oh yeah, 0121. You know
0121. You get me? Anyway. So, for those who don't know who you are, just give them a brief explanation of who is Cassandra.
Well, I'm Cassandra. I do comedy. I do presenting. I do content creating. I'm a Libra.
Jeez. You just threw
Not
it
that
out
I care about any of that kind of stuff.
there. I'm a Libra, you know.
I'm a Libra. I have eyes. You know what it is? Because I saw the other day, there was someone that tweeted and they said, try to describe who you are without saying the job title. So I've been trying to think of how to do that.
Yeah,
I don't know what I would actually say about myself. When someone says, who are you? And you give like your titles,
steps.
which is what I do. But who are you outside of that?
So you went straight to Libra.
I don't know who I am outside of that. I've been trying to do it in my life. I don't know. But yeah, that is who I am basically. Because I do comedy. Christian, obviously. That's why I'm here. Because this is a Christian show. Yeah.
That's so funny. I'm Christian, obviously. Yeah. Just making sure you
Just
know.
making sure you know that I know.
Because
Because I work at a gospel station. If I didn't, it would be a bit mad if I was like a Muslim atheist.
But we'll talk about that because you got some backlash.
Oh yeah.
I saw you tweet about it.
I did get some backlash. Yeah, I did.
Forget them people anyway. So Cassandra, when and why did you become Christian?
Wow. I've kind of always been a Christian.
Okay.
I was one of them people that were born into it. My mum and my dad were Christians. I didn't start taking it seriously till I was like 20.
Okay.
Because through all my teenage years, I just didn't.
You just want to enjoy life, innit?
I want to enjoy life.
And you feel like Christianity might hold you back a little.
And I wanted to go out drinking. I wanted to go Malia when I was 20. And I was like, God, Malia, I don't know if
Man is a race though.
Yeah, and I thought it just wasn't in my head.
I hear that.
It really wasn't. And when I got to 20, I felt a pull. And so, I don't know where it came from. I just felt like this pull that I needed to start going to church. And I remember I put it on a Facebook status and I said, I really want to get baptized. And I had a friend who used to go to church. And he was like, oh, my dad's a pastor. You should come to my church. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that your dad was a pastor. I knew him for like 3-4 years at this time. And I was like, you never told me your dad was a pastor. And he was like, because you never showed interest. I was like, oh yeah, I'll come to your church. So I started going to his church. And then that was it. I just felt a pull to it. I don't know. I couldn't describe it. I used to go drinking and I feel really bad. I had a boyfriend at the time, would do certain things. I feel really bad. I'd be like, oh, this is
that conviction.
terrible. Conviction. And I'll be like, why? Like, I just want to enjoy my life. And God, you're stepping in right now. Like, I'm 20. Like, couldn't have come when I was 40 now. But it's cool. Okay.
Still got so much to do.
Still got so much to do. But that was, now I know that's obviously the wrong way to look at it because God doesn't cut you off.
He wasn't trying to hold you back.
He wasn't trying to hold me back. He was trying to save me because if I had stayed on that path, then who knows what my life would have been now. And so that was it really. I just felt this pull and I felt like this is what I want to do with my life now. So I decided to do it.
So when you was a little kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
An actress.
Swear,
yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, no, you know what? I don't know what it was. I just really loved performing and I loved writing. I used to write a lot of short stories. I used to write poetry.
Hold on, how old was when you started writing short stories and poetry?
Really young.
I was talking like single digits, like 9.
Yeah, I was like 8 or 9. Yeah, I was like, in my room back home, I've got like a little notebook thing of all my short stories. I read them the other day and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, what am I talking about? Some princess called Celeste who gets saved by some guy and all that.
Shout
kind
out
of
to Princess Celeste, you get me?
Princess Celeste, she was a bad girl, but yeah, I used to do all of that, and I used to just be really creative. I used to draw.
Okay.
I'm all right at art, and so yeah, I just loved creating. I loved acting. I used to make up my own little plays.
So you've been out here in these content creating streets from
You know what I mean? Like from when I was literally about 5 or 6 years old. Yeah, I used to go to like a little drama school at the Mac.
Oh, nice.
But
Yeah.
I remember my family came to watch me, and this is why I didn't pursue acting, because my family came to watch me once. My nan, my granddad, everybody, and I was terrible. I was really bad. I didn't really do much. I just kind of stood there, forgot my lines, and they were like, "Cass, we don't feel like acting is for you." Okay. I just won't. And then that stuck in my head for years. I was like, I'm not a good actress, because when I was 8, my family told I'm not. So that's why I didn't really pursue it up until I still don't really pursue it. I do comedy, but I didn't really do anything creative because I just thought I'm not.
Nah, you're still acting now though, because you're doing the stories, and I'm seeing what you're writing, and you get me. You're doing stuff. So don't be like, I'm not acting, because you're actually acting.
It's all an act. I'm really, really sad at the moment. This is what I'm joking. No, yeah, it is a form of acting, because obviously you write sketches.
Yeah.
And if you like, I just did a short film.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so you do act. Yeah, you do. But I'm not acting in the sense of I don't have an agent. I'm not going to like castings. I'm not.
But you're creating your own stuff.
I'm creating my own stuff to act in my own stuff.
So you're still acting in it?
It is, yeah.
Mad?
Yeah. Crazy.
So what's your funniest memory, like growing up in your household?
You know, I've thought about this. I don't really have a funniest memory.
Just bare funny memories?
Yeah, because my family are quite funny.
Okay.
And we're quite big. So I've got 7 siblings, 5 sisters and 2 brothers. And we've all got different personalities. I was never the funny one. I was the nerd, to be fair. So when I started doing comedy, they were like, yeah, but Cass, you're not funny.
You're not that one.
You're not that one. It's that sister, why are you doing it? So there's a lot, and I can't really pinpoint one, because we just get joke all the time.
Got ya.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we all, when I used to live back home, we would meet up every Wednesday just to chill, every Sunday, because it's Sunday, like.
Vibes.
Yeah. So I don't have one memory that sticks out.
It's just
constant.
It's constant funny.
A constant fun time.
So where are you, like, if there's 7 of you, are you like the oldest, the youngest, the middle?
No, I've got 4 older sisters and 2 younger brothers and 1 younger sister. So I'm like a middle-ish
So
child.
you're middle-ish.
But there's a lot of middle children. So it's not like just one. There's like one middle. It's like there's a whole heap of middle. So I'm in the mix. One of the accidental ones. Yeah. Life, innit? Just yeah.
And you know that as well.
I know it was a mistake, of course. You
Not
thought I wanted to have
mistake,
8 children. Who wants to have 8 children? Like,
Now, there's people who want 8 children, you know.
She wanted, what my mum did was, because she had a girl and she had a couple more girls, and she was like, you know what, I really want a boy.
That's what
she kept trying for a boy, and she just kept getting girls, and she had a boy and she miscarried, so she tried again and she got another girl. And I was the one before the boy, so I feel like she got the boy and she thought, you know what, he needs a brother. She tried again, and another girl came out, and she thought, I'm going to try one more time.
Let's get this little brother.
And then another boy came out, and she was like, all right, I'm done now. That's it. Finished. So yeah, accidental kid, man, in the mix.
Get me. So how did you kind of get into like comedy, comedic writing, comedic content? What kind of started that process?
I had a friend, to be fair, that forced me to do it. Like, I didn't want to do anything like that, but he does comedy and stuff, and so he said to me, oh, you should do videos as well. And he said, film your first videos and I'll edit them for you. And so I said, okay, cool. So I took some of my tweets, because I used to tweet a lot. And well, he took them, to be fair. He picked out 3 tweets and he said, film these ones as video content. So I did, and edited them and I posted them. And he was like, right, you do it now. And I did. I just started to do it myself. I just started filming stuff, editing, because I could already edit from uni, so I did journalism.
Okay.
And I learned how to edit. And then that was it. I started doing sketches, because I saw some girl in America called Jasmine, and she was really funny, and she used to play both characters. So she played that one and she played that one. And I thought, I could do that. That seems really simple. I could just play that one. So I started to do that. And then that was it. I just kind of fell into it. I was forced into it. And then I just continued it because I liked it. Yeah, I enjoyed making people laugh. And I thought, yeah, this makes me feel good and people feel good. And that was it.
So when was the moment that you was like, you know what? My comedy actually bangs, you know. When was that moment?
I don't know. When I would watch back my own videos and I would laugh.
That's me, like.
That's when I was like, all right, you know. It's kind of funny. Like, this is good. Or when like people would tell me and they'd be like, that video that you did was really funny. It really made me laugh. Yeah. And when I started to get videos get shared in places. So like, I think the first video that got shared was one to do with Love Island, and I did a voiceover.
Yeah.
It was called Roadman Jack series,
and
that got shared everywhere. Because it was just enjoyable to do it. It was quick, and people started to share it, and people were like, "Yeah, this is really good." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, no, I feel like this might be my lane. I might be a funny person," because, like I said, I didn't grow up being the funny one. So for me, I just kind of fell into it. I started doing it, and everyone was like, You're doing comedy? Why are you doing comedy?" Even people in college, because I was quite quiet, and people would be like, "I thought you were really quiet, but then I've been on your Instagram and you're not." And I was like, well, in my head, I'm not.
You're just actually living these two different lives.
Yeah, I'm like
you're like a chameleon, you get me?
Yeah, like I didn't, yeah.
Because your family is saying.
In my head though, I've always been who I am. But I guess to the outside world, you're just a different person. You don't know how the people see you. So in my head, I've always been me, but obviously, and what is on my page is in my head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I look at that, I'm like, yeah, no, that's me. But other people that don't see me like that would obviously look at that and think, well, that's not real. That's fake.
They're like, where did that come from?
But in my head, I'm like, no, that's always been, I've always created stuff. I've always wrote
from when
things.
you was young?
We discussed this already, from when I was a child.
See how we brought it back?
You know what I mean? Good memory, isn't it? Yeah.
So when did your family go like, you know what, you're actually funny? When did they accept
that I was a funny person?
That you're a funny person?
I actually remember the video that my sister watched, and she was like, "You're actually really funny." It was one to do with Halloween, like 2 years ago, and she watched it and she was like, "This really made me laugh." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." I've been doing videos for like a year at this point. And so, yeah, that was when I realized that my family thought I was funny. And I was like, cool. And when they started to encourage me as well.
Got ya.
So they started to say, yeah, when I start to kind of fall off, they're the ones to say to me, "Cass, why have you stopped posting?" Or "You haven't posted comedy for a while." Or my little brother's like on it. He's like, "You can't just stop now. Like, you've got this.
You gotta be consistent.
Like, and I'm like, "But I thought it's long." And he's like, "No, like you can't just stop. Like, that's just dead. You've come that far. I'm just gonna stop." And I'm like, "Yeah, nah, you're right." So when they say things like that, I know that they believe in what I do. And they enjoy it, because if they didn't, they'd be like, "All right, Cass, stop now. This is embarrassing us. Like, can you not? Like, why are you carrying on? We don't enjoy this at all." But yeah, when they started to like push me, that's when I realized they like it.
I don't know what it is about this younger generation, but especially when they're like, you know, brothers or cousins of you, and they see you doing something that's content-wise, they're like, "Yo, you can't stop now, you know. You gotta be consistent, because A Smalls and D's, man, they're putting out this cut. You need to be on." I was like, "Big man, please. I just want to sleep, man. No, it's got to be consistent, because if you drop off now," I'm just like, please.
It's good though, because it's encouraging. And for me, because obviously I do a lot of what I do just on my own, and I live by myself, and my friends don't really do that for me in that sense. So having like people that do just push you along, because you need it sometimes. Sometimes you do just want to sleep. Like, you just want to sleep. I've been sleeping for the past 8 months. You know what I mean? I've barely done anything, to be fair. Like, so having people that push you when you're feeling low, or when you feel like, "I just can't be bothered," or "What's the point?" I get that quite a lot, because you watch people go past you and you think, "I've been doing this for this long and I'm still here," or "I've been doing this for this long and I'm not where I want to be." So having people that just push you, keeping you consistent, it helps, doesn't it?
Do you feel the pressure of having to like consistently upload and have a video ready? And do you feel that pressure?
I did. I think I've come on leaps and bounds with the Instagram journey. When I first started, because I wasn't really trying to get anywhere, I just started to do it. I didn't really think about money. I didn't think about any of that.
Yeah.
So then I didn't feel the pressure because then I would just post as and when. When I started to properly get into it and I started to get brand deals and I started to get like opportunities and this and that and it started to grow, I was like, oh no, I have to post all the time. And then it became like stress and
Wow.
I'd get proper like down if I would lose followers.
Really?
Like I would be crushed if like I lost like 50 followers. I'd be like, oh, what did I do? And then I wouldn't want to post, but then I feel like I have to post to not lose followers. And it became like a pressure to even create content that isn't really you. Because you're seeing what works for other people and you're thinking, okay, I'll do that.
Wow.
And you're seeing people do mad stuff like run across tables and that. And you think, do I have to do that? And you think, do I do that? But you're thinking, that's not you. And it's just, you get all these kinds of thoughts in your head. Do you conform? Do you just do what you got to do and then stop complaining? Or do you just stick to who you are and do it that way? And it is a pressure. All of that is a pressure. But I think this year, because of everything that's been going on and my personal life and having people leave and having people come in, I've just kind of sat back and I thought, what do I actually want to do with this? What's the point? Who am I? What do I want to put out? What am I trying to say with my work? And now I don't feel the pressure. Like if I lose followers,
It is what it is.
yeah, but at the same time, I do still feel driven to build it because I know where I'm going with it now. Do you know what I mean? But I don't feel like a pressure to post. It's more enjoyable now. Like I like to post, even if it doesn't get that much views. I'm like, yeah, but I still like what I do. So yeah, I don't feel the pressure anymore or as stressed as what I used to.
So what's the big vision for what you're doing at the moment?
You're not meant to tell people your visions. People pray on your
out,
downfall.
No, speak it out. Now let them know.
Gosh, but the big vision at the moment is to just build what I'm doing, to just build the platform, because I have other things that I want off of the platform. So I don't want to just strictly be an online person. I don't really want to be in the public eye, to be fair. That's not my end goal.
Oh, so you're trying to be in the background?
Kind of, yeah. Like my end goal is not to be like this forever. I've got other things but I know that to get to that thing, I need to build up this platform. This is like level 1. I just need to get this to where it needs to get to, and then I can start on the stage 2. Then I can go to stage 3. Then I can retire. That's really the goal. So just sit in my house, you know what I mean? Just chill with my kids and that.
Just relax.
In Spain.
Spain?
Yeah.
Why Spain?
Why not?
Where in Spain?
Don't know. Somewhere with a beach.
Barcelona's nice.
Barcelona. I've been there quite a few times.
So right, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's a nice place, man. But now, yeah, the end goal. I was actually gonna go this year, about 2 months ago. But everyone was like, "Gosh, you can't go. It's coronavirus." I was like, "Yeah, but."
And the flights was like £10 as
The flights
well.
were literally, it was £36 to get there and back. And I thought to myself, £36, and I'm okay living in the slums. I will stay in a hostel for £10 a night. That's what, like £100 to go to Barcelona for a week.
As long as you're in Barcelona.
As long as I'm in Barcelona. I'm like, who cares where I sleep? No one's gonna know. I ain't bougie like that. But everyone was like, "Gosh, you can't go because of Corona. You're gonna have to quarantine." And I was like, I hear that, but
Barcelona?
it's Barcelona. Like, for a week at the end of August. But I didn't go in the end. Had more sense.
But that's the plan, to retire and with your kids.
The plan is the end goal, yeah. So just sit back and I want, to be fair, yeah, that is the plan. But to have obviously
things that just coming in, just residual.
Residual income that obviously comes in from, you don't really have to do much to get it.
One post.
Not even, I don't even want, like the internet, but like not stuff that even is living online. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so you're like, let me act in this thing. Not even that. Not even
because
that.
when you have a brand online, when you have a social media presence, you can do a lot with it. And I think people may sometimes underestimate it. Like if you want to start a business and you've already got an audience, you start that business, it's more than likely going to be a success straight away because you've already got
those people
however many people like you. So whatever you do, they're going to buy into it because they're like, oh, I like her. What is she doing? Do you know what I mean? This thing don't even have to be that good, but you've got people that like you. So you see all the time with like Love Islanders, and you see them start these clothing brands and these dead tan things, and you're thinking, oh, it's not even that good, I bet. Or they do like YouTube and they're dry, and you're thinking, how? It's because people are just bought into them, and that's it. And so that's the plan, to get to that level where you just have people that love what you do, and then I can start stuff where it's like they already will be invested. Because I've already provided them with some joy.
Because they love you.
Because they love me and what I do. and it just works in turn. Like if I enjoy making people feel good as well with my work, so it's like there's no you give and you get back and your heart feels great and all that kind of malarkey.
So you're a writer as well as a creator, as we've known from when you was young. You get me?
You seem to remember that quite well.
I have to bring it back. You get me? Because in my head, I'm trying to, you know what it is I can't get past? And that's why I kept bringing it up. Because I'm thinking, your creativity at that age to even write, forget think. Everyone was thinking something. I thought,
so, yeah.
I wanted, you're funny.
You don't hope that people are thinking at the age of 6. I mean, if you're not.
But people are thinking like creating stuff like, so you make up imaginary friends. I wanted to be called David Tree when I was younger.
Did you? Why?
Because I was tall and trees are tall.
Right.
And David come from...
No, carry on. I'm very interested.
David come from, there was a goalkeeper called David James, black
Right.
guy. And obviously I was a goalkeeper at the time. So I'll put David and Tree together because I was the one to be like that black goalkeeper and I was tall. So anyway, as I was saying, back when you're that young,
That's mad.
it's a mad story.
Exactly. Random. Okay.
But I'm showing you like the creativity that you have when you're that age, just thinking stuff out. But you actually wrote for stuff down like, oh yeah, let me create this. Let me wrote out like things like parts for different people, Princess Celeste and that. You get me?
Yeah.
Like you actually done that. So to do that and continue to be doing that now, because some people do that and then just like, oh yeah, let me just work a 9 to 5.
No, I did do that though. I didn't. This isn't like a continuous journey.
Oh,
like
so this.
I started to do all this creative stuff, and then I kind of stopped. And I went to uni and I studied journalism and media, which isn't creative at all. To be fair, I just did it because I didn't know what to do with all this creative stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to make a living from it because back then I didn't really think all this was feasible. So I got to uni and I was like, right, I've just got A-levels in English literature, drama and art. And I thought,
Journalism.
what is the career with this stuff? Like, what am I going to do with English lit? Like, what is that? Art. I'm not going to be Picasso. And I thought acting, I just thought that's written off because like I said, I didn't think I could act. So that was it. And then I heard someone say to me how they're studying journalism in uni. And I was like, that sounds good. I'll do that. So I did it. It was dead. I hated it. But I got out and I started to work for a newspaper, 9 to 5 in Derby, doing video production. And then, yeah, that's when I started my own stuff and I was like 25. And then, yeah. So I did fall off of it. It wasn't like a consistent thing. I did go through that phase of, I just forgot about all of that. But then I kind of came back as I got older.
So what would you say is the hardest thing you've had to deal with being a creative? Would you say it was the fall off, or was there something else we had to deal with and you thought, you know what, do I really want to carry on doing this? And then how did you kind of overcome that?
The hardest thing? I think one of the hard things to deal with when you are a creative is to remember that this is a job. Because a lot of creatives, we're quite floaty and we're like, yeah, if I feel like creating, then I will just create. Or if I don't feel like it, then I won't. But it is a job at the end of the day. If you are creating stuff, it is a job. If you really want to get paid and you really want to take it seriously, you just have to keep doing it no matter what you feel. And mastering that and keeping my feelings out of it, I'd say that is quite difficult because sometimes you really are going through some stuff and you don't want to do anything. Like, you just don't want to. It's as simple as that. But then you have to think, a nurse that has her job, she doesn't want to go to work sometimes, but that's her job. So she just has to get herself up and go. Like, she doesn't have the choice to say, well, I just don't feel like it today. I'm just going to stay in my bed. So I think mastering that yes, it is, comes from how you feel and all of that, but it is a job at the end of the day. And if you really want to make it somewhere, you do have to treat it like a job. If you don't feel like it, you still show up. If you do feel like it, you do show up, and you just be consistent in that sense. So that's one thing I would say has been quite a thing to master. That comes, however, I'd say I've come up with that from prayer. Just like doing things outside of everything that make me happy, and keeping the people around me that make me happy.
How important is that though?
Keeping people around, very important. That's everything. Yeah, like everything. I think if you've got the right people around you, you can do a majority of different things. Obviously, everything at the end of the day is to do with yourself and your own mind. So sometimes you're so dark into a place, it doesn't really matter who's around you because you're just there. But having the right people around you, having people that, like I said earlier, my family, they push me. Having people that will just talk about random stuff just to get the stress out. Having people that just love you for who you are. Just having people that are there. Very important. Having people that inspire you to go higher. People that have passed where you are and you look at their life and you think that's what I want it to be like. Because it rubs off on, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
their mentality, they're talking, they're like, yeah, nah, your work ethic is way past what mine is and I want mine to be where yours is. So having people that just inspire you in different ways, remind you that you're a great person. Yeah. But then at the same time, you can't rely on that either.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
get
it's
too
got to be you.
invested.
Yeah.
You have to just, even if those people was all just to leave you tomorrow, you have to really say, nah, but I'm still a G. I still got this, like, whoever's here or whoever ain't. But it's just easier when people are there.
So, did you always kind of want to be, as you got older, you said you did journalism, but you said, but now you started to do presenting and radio, online content, TV. Was that a road you always wanted to go down in terms of, or did it kind of, it just happened and you just?
No, I think a part of me always, at one point I really wanted to be a presenter. Now I don't. I am a presenter, but I present. Don't fire me. My boss will probably watch it like, oh, so you don't? All right, well, your 3 shows gone. Sorry, I do love what I do. But no, I think presenting for Premier Gospel I see is different because I also see it as ministry.
Yeah.
So it's not just me presenting. I don't like presenting in the sense of just talking to people about when's your next album coming out, or I don't like any of that. I find that really dead. And I couldn't live in that world.
I dislike that so much.
Yeah, like that is for some people, and there are some people that love that. They love finding out that kind of stuff, and they love it. But for me, I couldn't. I just wouldn't be. I just can't. I just don't care. Like I just don't care when your album's coming out. I'll see it when I see it. You know what I mean? I'll watch that person's interview and they'll let me know. But it's like, yeah. So presenting, yeah, I think. I do like presenting, and if people ask me to host stuff, or if people say, can you present this, I'll be like, yeah, sure. But it's not something that I'm like seeking to do.
Okay, yeah.
In that sense. But I enjoy it, but it's not something I'm pushing for. I'm more pushing for like to create my own stuff, to do comedy, to do stand-up, to do like that side of things. And then people want you to present because of who you are, not so much because you're a presenter, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So how did the Premier Gospel job essentially come about?
I sent them a message on Twitter.
You just said, hey, listen.
No, I literally just messaged. I used to work for another radio station back home in Birmingham, but I wasn't enjoying it. And they knew I wasn't enjoying it, and so I was sat there one day and I was like, you know what, I would really love to work Premier Gospel. So I got onto my Twitter and I just sent them a message and I said, hi, my name's Cassandra. I really want to work for your station. How do I go about doing that? And then lo and behold, someone replied, and I was like, okay, which is mad now because now that I work there, I know that no one replies to nothing. So the fact that someone did actually, the guy that actually replied says it to me all the time. He's like, you know what, I got you in here because I replied to your message. Everyone was ignoring it and I didn't. And I was like, okay, cool.
Thanks.
All right, thanks. Like, I said thanks like 8 months ago. Why you bring it up? Like, sheesh. What do you want me to buy? Like a medal? What do you want? But yeah, now I literally sent a message. I just woke up and I said, that's where I want to be. And so I sent them a DM, because they followed me from 5 years ago when I entered a competition. Yeah. And they followed me back.
Hold on, what competition was this?
It was like a giveaway on one of the drive time shows, and they followed me from it. And so I was able to DM them because they followed me for like 5 years. So I sent them a DM and I said, hi, that's what I want to do. And they were like, yeah, send in a demo. And so I did. And then they never got back to me for like 2 weeks. So I was like, well, maybe that was just... I don't know. And then they did get back to me one time. I had a friend ring me up and he said, basically they are hiring for a drive time presenter and someone to manage their social media accounts. And I said, oh. And they were like, and I'm being told that they like you. So just to let you know, that's what the situation is. I was like, oh, okay. And then they opened up the application process and I applied the professional way. And I went for an interview. And I was interviewed by my boss, who's a legend, gospel artist. He was just awarded an OBE.
Shout out to Moira.
Shout out to Moira, you know what I mean? And I did really well in the interview. I'm very good at job interviews.
Oh, you want
I hate them, but I'm really good at them. I came prepared. I looked through all of their social media platforms.
You like
I
me?
analysed it. I made a PowerPoint presentation.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. I was like, oh gosh. And you know what I mean? I went in, I made like slides and I said, well, this is what you do right now. But if I was here, this is what I just did.
Let them know.
This is what you do right now.
Let them know what you're bringing to the table.
You know what I mean? And so I said, this is my profiles and I built my profiles up like that. And I let them know what I could do, basically. Yeah. And it felt good because I wasn't lying. You know, sometimes you go to job interviews and you're like, I can do all this stuff and you can't. You've never done that. I lie all the time.
Nah, because I tell them, listen, this is what I've done. I've done this, I've done that. I've got answers for everything.
You know, but you see, I lie in job interviews because I'll never be sure of myself in an interview because I've always thought that's not a little bit above what I can actually do, but I'm just going to go in and blag it. Yeah. I've always done that. But with this one, I just knew I could do everything that they wanted me to do. They wanted someone to present. I said, I could do that. Been doing that. They wanted someone to manage their social medias and create content. I said, that's my life already. Of course I could do that. So everything that they wanted, I just knew I could do it. And so I got in there and I had this interview. It was quite hard because Moy was quite, he's not a harsh person. He's quite blunt. Okay. And he will just ask you stuff straight. And he doesn't have like a lot of
filter.
No, he doesn't have a filter. He has literally no filter. And so he'll just ask you stuff and I was like, oh, yeah. And he's quite big as well. Yeah. And he's quite intimidating to like look at. And I was just there like, okay, hi.
From them.
Hi. But I got it in the end. And I started and they were like, we're gonna put you on a probation. And I said, right, when? They said in 3 weeks. I said, right. Well, I live in Birmingham. They said, okay. I said, right. What do I do? They were like, well, you're probably going to have to move. And I said, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll do that then. So in like 3 weeks, I literally just moved.
In 3 weeks?
Yeah, I just said to my family, I said, when I'm moving to London, they said, what do you mean? I said, I'm going. Bye. I'm out. But it was good because for the whole of last year, I wanted to move to London and I kept telling people, I want to move to London. I kept saying it like the whole of the year. And at one point I thought I was going to move in July for another radio job interview, but that fell through because they were like, we don't want to give you the job until you move. And I said, well, I can't move till you give me the job. So it was like a catch-22 and they were like, well. And I was like, okay, so we're just stuck here, and we ain't gonna, that's it. Like, I can't move until, So that fell through, and I was sad because I was like, I've spent this whole year telling people I'm going to move to London and I haven't. And last year wasn't a good year for me anyway. It was quite a depressive year. I just weren't.
You weren't where you were?
I just wasn't. Last year just wasn't a happy year. Yeah. So got to the end of the year and I was like, well, this year it's been terrible, ain't it? And then at the very, literally the last couple of weeks of December is when I got this job and I was like, oh, okay, no, God really came through because
it's meant to happen.
Yeah, and if I didn't get that job, then this year, how it's been, I wouldn't have survived it.
You don't think so?
No, not in the slightest. Like if I had the depressive year last year and then come into this year and everything that's happening in this year, I wouldn't have survived it. So it's literally only God, because I look and I think I wouldn't have survived it. There's no way that I would have, because there's just been a lot happen this year. Personally, there's been a lot happen. Worldwide, there's been a lot happen, and is one of them ones where I just think God literally stepped in at the exact right time, end of 2019, and said, okay, Cass, I'm going to put you in this place. And I've met so many amazing people that have just been there for me when I've needed them to be this year that I would never have met. Do you know what I mean? Moiwa, he's the most amazing boss on the planet. I say that with my chest. He just is. I've met people in my workplace that have just been rocks when I've needed someone to be a rock. They've been there, and I just think, boy, if I didn't get this job, I don't know what. I don't know, man, because this year's been a madness. Right. So, I don't know what your original question was,
Very exclusive.
but here we are.
I said, how did you get the job at Premier Gospel?
I said a tweet, basically, to wrap all that up.
No, but to be fair, it's good because you tell us about the process and then you tell us about what you'd already spoken and said, yo, listen, in the 2019 I moved to London. And all that year, it didn't happen?
Didn't happen. I was crushed. I was like, okay, so maybe, because I just felt like I was meant to move. I just felt it, and I thought I want to be in London. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. And when it didn't happen, I was like, maybe that feeling was just, I don't know, but because I just wanted to be here. I just wanted to be here, and I just thought, if I'm here, I don't know, but I just being here. I just wanted to be here. Yeah, I just wanted to be in London. I wanted to just work here. I wanted to be involved in the life and but it literally didn't happen. But the last month is when it happened, and I was like, that can only be God, because this is the best workplace I could ever have been in. Like, I'm very happy working here, man, and it is a 9 to 5, but don't feel like a 9 to 5. Like, I literally just go in, I leave the days because I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and it's for God. It's like, it feels like a breeze. Like, it doesn't feel like work. Like, when you're creating stuff for God, I love everything to do with God. I love when people talk about Him. I just love it all. So for me, it doesn't feel like a pressure. I don't feel like, oh, I've got to wake up to go to work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like, oh yeah, I'm waking up to go to work. Yay! Put on my shoes. Feels good. So yeah.
So when you got the job though, because I saw you tweet about this a couple of months ago, you got some backlash?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So I got some backlash, because obviously what I do is comedy, and there was a point in my comedy where I was starting to go down a slight road. So I was telling people to suck their mom and stuff in my content. My boss actually brought that up in my interview, to be fair. He was like, so you make videos telling people to suck their mom. How is that gonna run when you work at a Christian radio station? I said, it's not. I can stop doing that. I said, I can completely stop telling the people. People don't have to do that to their mom. It's fine. It's cool. We could just wrap that up. But yeah, I did get backlash. There was people that would obviously go on my page and they'd say I do comedy, and they'd say I wasn't the most Christian person on the planet. And they'd be like, I remember someone sent a message to my boss, and he was like, this Cassandra girl, why have you hired her? She's not a Christian. She's a comedian. Blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And my boss told me that. He just replied and said, have you ever met her? You've never met her, so how can you can't just judge someone from what they are on the internet, because that's not the full, complete person. And yeah, but I understand it. It's not like it goes over my head, and it's not like I don't get it. Coming in, looking at my page, you probably wouldn't think I was a Christian, because I don't talk about my faith. No one knows how far it runs deep. Like, no one knows my life in the church. No one, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one knows how long I've been in it. No one knows what I've been through. So people don't get that from just some girl that makes funny videos online. And I understand that. But then it's just the lesson to not judge a book by its social media cover. And yeah, you can't judge people based off what they are online.
Them people are dry anyway.
You know, and that's the thing. I think a lot of Christians, some Christians, and one of the problems that I have with Christianity is that a lot of Christians are like boring. Like, we think that we have to be like these proper, like prim and proper Christians, and like, do you know what I mean? And like, you can't laugh, you can't enjoy life. Like, I posted the other day. Actually, I went out for my sister's birthday in Birmingham. It went out, to be fair. I went out for food. I had like a cocktail. I don't drink.
No, I had
a fruit cocktail. And I had my meal, and I snapped it, and some guy replied and said, how are you going to hear from God if you seem really distracted? And I was like,
remember that? He's dry as well.
I was baffled. I was like, I'm literally just celebrating our birthday. That was it. Like, I wasn't distracted.
Whoever you are, I love you, but you dry.
No, we do love dry people.
But you dry.
But you need to just get some Vaseline on your life.
Simple things.
You know what I mean? It's like, I think Jesus was really funny.
Jesus is one of the funniest people.
Because when you read, I was reading the other day. No.
I should read it already.
No, I'm not even. Jesus is actually a funny guy.
Jokes.
I was reading the other day, Luke, and his savagery is mad. Like he would just walk into places, say something, and then just dip and leave everyone like, what? Or people would say something and he'll turn around and say, you fool. And it's like,
But don't you know? He's be like, don't you know?
He was a funny guy.
Funny
like
brother.
he would just cuss people. Like I can imagine back then they'd be like, this is Jesus. He's meant to be like this Jesus. But he was a very savage, and I just found him really funny. And I think sometimes we miss that side of Christianity because we think that we're supposed to be this. I don't even know.
Prim and proper,
This
like
prim and-
everything needs to be perfect, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I mean that, and I don't know how to properly put it into words, but just this thing where you can't enjoy stuff because it's secular, or you can't enjoy stuff because it's not even that. I don't even think that's the right way to phrase it. But I just think a lot of Christians don't
enjoy.
Yeah, or like they just take everything too serious.
Yeah, there's a deeper
Everything-
meaning behind everything.
like sometimes there ain't.
It's just not.
Sometimes life is just life.
Sometimes I just want to go bowling.
A table is just a table. You know what I mean? It's not, oh, the table has 4 legs and that symbolizes the 4 chapters and the 4 gospels. It's just not that, is it? It's really just not. It's just a table. Like, it just is what it is. And I think sometimes because we take everything so serious, we miss like life. And I'm not really like that. I think, yeah, you take life seriously. You take seriously what you're meant to take seriously, but you still enjoy your life. Like you still can laugh and you still can talk about whatever you want, and you still can talk about, you know, stuff. You can still laugh. You can still go to a comedy show. You can still enjoy stuff. Yeah.
So what's the biggest thing you've learned, not from being a presenter, because you're now moving into the role of the realm of comedian. You've been doing it for just over 12 months, or not, if I'm correctly. As
Over
stand-up
12.
comedian.
Oh, yeah. You did your research, right? Wow. I feel like stalked. Carry on.
No, please. I have to do research.
No, I hear that. It's good. I like it. It's good.
So obviously you've been doing it for just over 12 months and being a stand-up comedian. What's the one thing you've learned from that you could potentially bring into your presenting and X, Y, and Z?
From being a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. It's 2 different.
Yeah, it's 2 different ball games, man. I think stand-up comedy, because I'm still not I haven't done it a whole heap of times. I'm still learning the industry, and I'm still learning myself is the most important thing. Myself on stage, because you need to know who you are to be good at what you do.
This is what Steve was telling you. This is what Steve Harvey was telling you.
Yes, I was thinking it's Steve, but yeah, my man, my G
You know,
Steve,
your G Steve, man. You know
my
Steve.
guy.
Your guy, Steve.
My guy, you know. My guy, but now it's Steve, like exactly what Steve was saying. You need to know your type of comedy. You need to know who your audience is. You just need to know these things. That's one thing that I've always kind of struggled with. Like, who's my audience? Who am I talking to? I don't know. I'm just being funny. But what is my lane? I've never really mastered that on stage. Sorry, but the lesson from what I've learned from what I've done is probably that no one cares as much as what you think that they care. So when you're on stage, sometimes you'll go out and you'll get properly, well, for me anyway, I'll get proper in my head about, I wonder if they're thinking this about me, or I wonder if they're thinking that, or I wonder if they're thinking just random stuff, and then that throws you off. But no one really cares as much as what you think that they do. Well, they do obviously analyze. When you go out on stage, people do make a snap judgment, but you can't invest yourself into that, because that snap judgment can change within a second if you do something to make it change within a second. Do you know what I mean?
1,000%.
And that lesson kind of transfers with life. Like doing videos, sometimes I used to get really conscious to do videos in public, but no one cares as much as what you think that they're gonna care. Like you could be walking down the street talking into your camera and no one's actually gonna care.
And you'd be like,
they will look for a second,
but
and then they're gonna look away and go about their life. Like no one is going to care. So you just have to get out of your own head and just do what you want to do, and that's kind of it. Like even online, you post up a video and it's a bit dead, you just take it down. No one's gonna be like, oh great, we'll just, you know what I mean? No one cares as much as what you think that they're gonna care.
So moving away from you writing, your content creating, stand-up, being a stand-up comedian, presenting, you've also got a skincare page. So briefly explain that journey and to why you wanted to open up about, you know, your journey in regards to skincare.
I mean, when I started to do stuff online, people kept commenting on my skin. So I've always had eczema.
Yeah.
It's never been a thing to me. I forget that I have it. I've never felt like I was different, ever.
Yeah.
It's never been a thing that I've been conscious about. I've always just kind of lived my life. It's been irritating a bit, and sometimes it gets really bad and you're just like, oh, I wish I didn't have this. But it's never been something that I felt mad conscious about. When I started to do videos online, people would point it out and they'd make comments that sometimes were quite rude. Sometimes they were quite funny. Sometimes people would just be mad ignorant. And I remember once I got a comment and it just irritated me. And I was like, this is really annoying because I kept having to address it. And people would DM me and say, oh, I'm so sorry, but like, what's wrong with your hands? Or I'm so sorry, but what is that? Or did you get burned? Or blah, blah, blah. And so I just thought, you know what? It coincided with the fact that in my personal life, I was trying to get rid of it anyway, because I was trying to do things like change my diet, because I've never tried to get rid of it. It's always just been something that I've had. I've never tried to I just had it. I didn't ever try to actively think, okay, how do I actually get rid of this? But when I moved to London, it got really bad. Like my hands got terrible. And there was one night I was in my room and I was just sat there and I was like, I was in pain. Like my hands were in pain, my ankles, my everything. I was just sitting there and I was like, I don't want this. I don't want this. Like, this has irritated me now. So that's when I started this journey of trying to get rid of it and working out where it comes from, what actually causes eczema, why does it exist, why do I have it? And then, like I said, so someone made a comment online and I thought, you know what, I'm going to start a page and just document what I do. More so for myself, just to see my own journey. But then I kind of thought, if I open up the page to everyone else, maybe other people could relate to it. I could get hints and tips from other people. And I did. Within like a day, it got like 1,000 people on it. And I was shocked because I was like, that's 1,000 people that in literally a day, I had like 250 messages from like loads of people saying, thank you for starting this, because I've never seen anyone with eczema the same as mine. I didn't see it as that deep because like I said, I've never really looked at it as that deep.
It was just there. It was
just there. And I've got 3 sisters that have it as well. So for me, I've always grown up with people that I can look at theirs and I can talk to about it. But I had people that have said, no one in my life has got eczema. And I've always felt weird about it. Or they've said, I don't know how you're doing what you do online with your hands. Like I said, I didn't really care. So for me, it's not a thing. But for them, it's a massive deal. And I realized me just being who I am and being able to just put myself out there helps other people, because they're like, someone else has this. And all the messages that I got, and I've applied to every single one of these people, and it took like a week, 2 weeks just to get through them all. And now I have like a nice community of people that are just there and they're proper supportive. And when I don't post, they're like, Cass, are you good? Do you know what I mean? And they, it's been a nice little page to start, man. And it's nice to just document what I'm doing. And even when I'm not posting, people are still there. And it's just been a nice, uplifting thing. People seem to like it. I like doing it.
So what's your plans for the next 12 months?
12 months?
12 months.
Boy.
Give me that start to finish. You get no joke.
I mean, you know what? After this year, you just don't know, do you? Like, there could be a COVID-20 next year and it just throws everything out the window.
Facts.
12 months, though, I'd say, I mean, I've been saying this for like 2 years, but I do want to hit a certain number on Instagram.
Jeez. Do you want to speak it out?
It will happen.
Sure, do you want to say what it is?
100,000 people.
100,000 follows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Minimum. But I mean, I've been saying that for literally about 2 years. But I do believe at some point it will happen.
It will come in it.
Yeah, you just keep going until it happens. You can't not. Like, I can't be doing this for the next 5 years and it just don't happen. Then I'll be like, all right, Cass, maybe give up. Like, I don't know. But I'm giving myself another couple of years. But I know it will happen. I just have to keep doing what I'm doing and be consistent, which I haven't been for the past 10 months. So, that's one thing. And then grow, obviously, the skincare page as well. Yeah. Because I just think, I don't know, it's more like a passion thing. Like, that's not for my career or nothing. It's just like it's like a passion. Like, my heart is like
into that.
I love my comedy and I love all of that. But when you've got people messaging you saying, wow, this has really just changed my life, that you've put your hands out there like that, that affects you. You're like, oh, wow, mad. That's great. So yeah, just finding that market of people. What else? I've started to do short films, so I really want to do more of those.
Seen you in the grey hair. Seen
Yeah.
that.
So I really want to do more short films. I'm writing a second one now, so I want to get that done. And yeah, YouTube stuff. I think I want to master YouTube.
Jeez. Go follow her on YouTube. What's the YouTube channel?
Candid Cass.
Candid Cass. Videos every Wednesday and Sunday, is it?
Nothing at the moment, but we'll say.
Put pressure on Cass.
I know, like, she's where's your schedule?
Every Wednesday and Sunday, there's videos.
I don't have a schedule.
I don't know if there's videos like that.
Nah, I'm trying to upload like
once a week.
I'm trying to upload because I've got a comedy series coming out.
Yeah.
So that'll be once a week for the next 2 months.
Oh, see.
So it's going to be minimum once a week. The max that I really want to do is like 3. I feel like 3 videos a week.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a lot, but I feel like I could do it.
You could do it.
Yeah.
Go on.
I got this.
Yeah, or you. Say no. Anyway. So, last question. What encouragement would you give to yourself with where you're at in life now?
Encouragement?
That you give to yourself with where you're at in life right now?
To not be distracted by external people / situations. Did you want me to say more?
I thought he was going to elaborate.
No.
Thank you guys for tuning this conversation.
No, okay, let me. Oh gosh, all right.
Just a little bit.
Wow, I get very distracted by external people and situations, as we just said. Yeah, I feel like
I'm joking.
You're playing with my emotions. I don't know how to handle the situation. I've always got very distracted with external people and situations. What I've done. I allow people to affect how I feel, and then how I feel has always affected my work rate, or I get in my own head about what I think is possible, which is silly because anything is possible. You could do what you want. I just think not getting distracted by people. Men, I want to be alone. Like I want to be alone for like at least the next year of my life. I think men are a distraction. Like they're a distraction, and I just think all of that, it pulls away from like what you're doing in your life, and I just think all of that, I just don't want it. I just want to move forward with what I'm meant to do. I mean, if my husband pops up, then I ain't gonna say no. Like if you're watching this, I ain't gonna say no. But at the same time, I will probably say no initially. But nah, keep trying though. But just not get distracted. I don't want to get distracted. And I think even if I do see myself getting pulled a certain way, I just have to keep focused and remember what my mission is. Like I've had certain prophecies. I've had God tell me certain things, and I just know what I know. And I know that right now he's saying, this is what you have to do. Do this. Focus on what you're meant to focus on. Focus on me. Like, why are you focusing on that over there, or that person, or this person, or that friend? None of that matters. Just focus on what you're meant to focus on. Keep pushing forward, and I promise I'll take you to where you need to get to. And I haven't done that ever. I've always had people distract me. I've always been in relationships that have just pulled my energy. I've always done that for the past however many years. So it's like now I just feel free of like stuff, and I'm like, okay, I need to just focus on what I need to focus on. And so I think that's it.
So once you focus, you're gonna soar.
Once you focus, that's what it is though, because the Bible says that seek ye first the kingdom of God. Do you know what I mean? And I've never really done that. Do you know what I mean? I've never just went for God and that's it. Like I've always had other things that are just in the way, or I've had obstacles, or I've had emotions just affect. But I know that as soon as like you start to focus on what you're meant to focus on, God will bring the clarity, because he has already. Like he has, and I look and I think, I have more clarity. So it's just continuing on that path of focus and clarity and all that. I'll start moving my hands, looks a bit weird.
Cassandra, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it,
Whoa.
I appreciate it.
Couple of words just got mixed up in there. Jeez.
I'm hungry, man.
You should have
Sorry.
said this
He only gave me fake wine gums. Like, how was that meant to sustain a growing woman?
This has been Conversation with Haych, with Cassandra.
Oh, wow.
I'm joking. This has been Conversation with Haych with Cassandra Maria. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I can't even say subscribe properly, but my mom told me to tell you that. Thank you guys for tuning in.